It's her, isn't it? It's Beatrice, isn't it?
Oh!
Yes.
There's still another universe.
I'm like trembling.
Yes, but same name.
Same name, Beatrice.
Oh, son of a bitch! It is the same.
Beatrice.
Ah!
Fantastic. I love
He's
where
like-
this is going.
He's looking. He's like trembling. There's no way.
Killing me, dude.
This can't be possible.
I didn't recognize it right away, but as soon as I saw the photo, I thought there was something about this girl that looked familiar, and I remembered going through the pictures, your wedding photos, and I just thought you should know. I'm sorry.
His system colors start to turn red. I need to have a talk with that Hanar.
What are you going to say to him? He doesn't know. He doesn't realize.
I think Sync's just too like flustered. He's not even gonna pay us anything. He's just gonna go.
He's gonna follow after you with the photo.
Okay.
With a photo.
Okay.
Anar, you are being confronted by the captain of the ship now, unbeknownst to you of what happened upstairs.
He's actually leaning forward impatiently, almost rocking back and forth.
Oh, like waiting for your picture. Are you in the mech suit?
Yes.
Okay. I'll just kind of like not even. What? How do you know this woman? Is that you in the picture?
He's showing you the photograph right now.
Yes,
Yeah,
that is definitely this one. Barely any Hanar have that scar.
And this girl in the picture. What is her name?
Why do you wish to know?
Just answer the question.
Very well. She goes by the name of Beatrice, but this one's always called her Trissy, along with her roommates. Well, I don't think they're roommates anymore. I think they just live next door. They give her a lot of hugs. It's kind of creepy. But this one never says anything. Sorry, this one tends to ramble.
While he's talking,
Jimmy bites his lower lip while he's talking. Sorry.
like Sync's just kind of like wrapping his head, his hands around his face, and like his colors are like just going all over the place. He's getting like just, and then he'll walk up to Hanar and I guess grab him by the shoulders or whatever he can reach.
What?
And he's gonna say, is she happy? Answer the question. Is she happy?
Could you please let go? You're kind of creeping me out, or this one out.
Answer the damn question. And he like really pull like pulls it down. I guess,
This
like,
one's been
spaces
drinking. Remember that.
He's gonna pull a fist back. You better answer.
And at the same moment, he pulls out a pistol. You better get off me!
Whoa.
He'll then realize what he just did, and he also realizes he talked about himself in the first person. Like, this one's sorry.
Okay,
give it
stop. You got at this point, Jimmy's trying to separate you, but he trips and falls because he's still weak from the surgery. Just Anar, he says, just say yes or no. Just answer his question, please. It's important.
He's breathing heavily, but he looks up and he says, last time this one checked, yes.
And then I'll just take a deep breath. Go to like a sky blue, normal color, and that's all.
Wait, what goes to a sky blue normal
his
color?
systems, like his color systems or whatever.
His electronics are mood.
Yeah,
reflect his
my
mood.
my electronic systems show my mood through the color, and I'll just take a deep breath. That's all I needed to know, and then I'll just leave and go back to my room. Or I'll go to the locked room actually.
Jimmy,
Light a cigarette.
I'm curious. Was
Was he loud enough for us to hear him from all the way up in our room?
Yes.
Like,
yes. I think.
So we'd be able to like step out and.
I think you guys would have heard. What is it that you yelled out? What is it that Sync yelled out?
Is she happy?
Yeah, you heard Sync yell out, "Is she happy?" in a very hostile manner. Very hostile manner.
Yeah,
Are we all
probably
gonna
would
be
have
in the-
marched through. He wouldn't have, if y'all would have tried to like interject, he would have just kind of like shrugged y'all off and just kind of went in his room and locked the door behind him.
Is the male Asari still holding the picture?
No, the Asari is returning the picture back to Anar.
He takes it gingerly, kind of shaken actually. He's trying to calm down.
Please, he says, don't be mad at him. You have to understand. In this universe, Trissy is his late wife.
At this, he kind of backs off a little bit and kind of slips into a seat and then kind of slides backwards so his tentacles are actually folded across his belly. But he's pointing his head forward. He says, "Why didn't he just say so?"
Because it's obviously hard for him to deal with. I mean, how would you feel if you came over to his universe and you found out that your girlfriend who had died in your universe is now alive and married to him?
At hearing this, it actually started echoes in his head, and then it starts to dim away, and then he kind of whites out for a second. From Anar's point of view, everything is white, but then it flashes to a scene where he's on the ground and he's surrounded by fire and a lot of dead bodies. And he's hearing a lot of echoes of voices. And he's trying really hard to shrug it off. And then he hears a scream off distance, then kicks his vision wide again, and then he sees the male Asari, and he shakes his head. This one understands. If you do not mind, this one really needs to be alone right now. He'll put the gun away, by the way. He wasn't pointing it or anything, he was just holding it.
Of course, he says, "I apologize for the drama, but you have to understand, I felt that you both needed to know. If we're going to be traveling together, that's something that probably is better addressed sooner than later."
Anar sits for a second without saying anything, but then he looks up and he says, "This one does appreciate the hospitality it has received thus far. It will hope it will remain so in the coming morning."
Drimmy nods, and then he goes up.
He'll close the Krogan helmet head so nobody can see him now.
Where did Sync go? Oh, he went into his room.
I went into the sanctuary or whatever you would call it.
So they probably, Cicepia and Arkara and Elias probably, heard the ruckus and then saw Sync beeline his way over to the private room. I don't know if any of you stop him or just leave him be or whatever.
Probably didn't even get a chance to we probably raise a notion, but he just.
Yeah, he'd probably just go. Dylan already said he wouldn't respond.
Yeah,
if
that's it.
okay.
I was just gonna push everybody off and just go in and lock
Elias
the
wouldn't
door.
really be trying.
Okay.
So
of course, I want to see what's inside the room, so I'm like right at the door.
Sync comes up after this traumatic experience, and he sees Cicepia picking the lock. He just had this horrible traumatic experience, and now he's
just scratching at the door. Scratching at the door.
Just twist that knife. Twist that knife.
Just like
Okay. So he pushes his way through. If you guys say anything, he's not going to respond. If one of you tries to stop him, he just pushes his way through, goes into, probably shuts the door, and then it locks it behind him. The three of you are probably now in the common area. I don't know how you guys react to that, or if you say anything to each other at that point after hearing the noise and the commotion from downstairs.
Well, I didn't hear any gunfire. That's a plus, right?
Yeah, that's for sure.
Should
It
one of us
does
try
look like he wants to be alone considering all that.
Should one of us ask the other two? Maybe they've got an idea of what's wrong with him.
I guess.
It's at this point that shortly after Drimmy emerges. Is he? Did he just lock himself in his room?
Yeah.
It's probably better to just leave him be then, Drimmy says. Sorry for the commotion.
Nah, I've had worse. Just wondering who's gonna shoot who next time.
What was the whole ruckus going on about?
I'm not sure if I'm at liberty to say.
If we are going to be working together, I think it would be best for us to all be honest. If there's any way that I could try to convince you.
It seems like it was personal, so I don't think you should pry about it.
Well, is it
We
going to be a
should-
problem?
Right. We don't want this to be something that's going to blow up in our faces when things get heated. So we should discuss it.
Knowing Sync, I would like
Persuasion roll?
I'm sorry, what did Cicepia say?
Persuasion roll?
Yes, roll a persuasion. Please. Cicepia is very good at that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I gotta get him what she wants.
Of course, he's all locked up in his room, so he can't say anything about it.
Yeah, no, he's probably all.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. Yeah. Nice.
Very well, Jimmy says. Follow me, and I'll
I've
tell
got
you.
the persuasion of a reaper.
Follow me, he says. I'll tell you everything you need to know.
She's been indoctrinated. Sorry.
If you wish to follow her, she will take you into the conference room, where you have a privacy. Jimmy
Meanwhile,
says,
Pie's going to see if he can access security feeds, just to find out what's going on the ship.
is that what Pi is doing? All right. I
Yeah,
will say-
well, Elias would want to do that eventually anyway, to see where all the cameras are.
Okay. Drimmy will explain, and Dylan, if I say anything incorrectly, you let me know.
Okay,
Jimmy says,
sure.
Jimmy says, Sync has been having a lot of problems, especially within the last several years. You see, he had a wife. I never met her, unfortunately, but from what I heard, she was a very beautiful person inside and out. She and him were happily married and knew each other for many years prior to that. Sync was also very much he had an aspiration in cybernetics. He was a doctor by trade, but as he explains it, a lot of the cures, well, she turns to the Krogan, many of the cures that can be cured have been cured, and he wanted to look into technology, fields of medicine that has not been explored as much. So he's got into augmentation, cybernetics. His first experiment was with his eye. He's not the kind of person who would want to experiment on other people. He would much rather experiment on himself, rather than imposing his research on others. This is kind of just the way he is. His recovery period, however, from installing his cybernetic eye took him out of commission for a while, for long enough for him to not notice that his wife was became very ill. The symptoms he wasn't able to catch because he couldn't see them. Long story short, his wife passed away from a very fatal, very fast occurring illness. I don't think he ever forgave himself for that. Part of me feels like he blames himself for the death of his wife. So, in order to cope, he's been keeping his mind on other things, pretty much on his research, cybernetics, and little by little he would be replacing different parts of him until he's became the man that you see before you today. If you were to ask me, though, I feel like he's avoiding the problem, not addressing the problem. I feel like the man is trying really hard to forget, suppress his emotions, so he doesn't have to deal with it. I told him that's not a good thing. I told him it was not good to keep all of that bottled up inside, that he needs to mourn, that he needs to deal with the death of his wife so he can move on. That's when he started taking time in that room in there. I have a feeling, though, that he's not going to come out for a while. Anyways, the reason why I'm telling you all this is because just now, while I was in the cargo room, I saw a photograph from your Hanar friend. It was a photograph of him and his girlfriend. But in this universe, his girlfriend is Sync's wife.
Well, I'll be damned.
So he too has a... I can relate to that.
I can't imagine how he's going to react to this, and I don't know. I guess, yeah, that's basically what happened, and I guess you can connect the dots from there. So,
Well, his outburst makes sense. That's for sure.
Anyone would have reacted to that, finding out that your loved one is alive in another universe.
he's a good guy. He really is.
Given
It's
what
just-
he was yelling, I say he took it pretty well.
Yeah, definitely.
I can't imagine what he's going through right now. I mean, yeah, I figured you guys should know.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I wonder, you're saying that the Sync's wife that died of the disease died in this universe. I wonder if there's also a possibility if the woman in Anar's universe might have the same disease as well. It just hasn't surfaced yet.
I wasn't even thinking about that.
We might want to look into that.
Which, yeah, do you think one of us should probably bring that up with Anar then when we get the chance?
Do you know what the disease was, Dremmy?
I don't think Sync ever told me. I've pretty much the only details I know are from what I told you. Sync doesn't really like talking about it. It took an entire year for me to get that much out of him. I guess I try not to ask him questions that remind him of the thing that took his wife away from him in the first place.
Well, I hate to say it, but if it's curable, we might have to.
Right. Is there anything out of character else that people want to do or say before we move on to the next morning?
No.
Okay.
Other than possibly, hack the vid system.
I was hoping that when I named his girlfriend Trissy that you would not put two and two together.
No, not at all.
Yeah. Because the whole time...
I did wonder why Trissy.
Yeah.
Because it's a bit of an odd
Yeah.
moniker.
It wasn't Tracy. It wasn't Tracy. It was
Yeah.
Trissy. I specifically said Trissy instead of Tracy, so I was wondering if anyone would pick that up. So
Because I
Jeff,
saw it on her name.
it looked like Matthew, you picked it up first. It looked like
Well, I picked up that it was Trissy. But I didn't know Dylan's wife's name, so I could never connect it.
Okay. I don't know if
It
anybody else...
wasn't
I don't know if anyone else saw it coming, but yeah.
It wasn't until you actually brought it up. The moment you brought it up, I'm like, wait.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, no shit. Wow.
I'm cruel like that.
Yeah.
Cruel in the best
Cruel.
ways.
And now everyone else is going, Wait, on the list of contacts. Who's where?
All right, so everybody turns in for the night, I'm assuming.
I mean, probably stand in front of the door for a moment, then gonna be wait there since it doesn't look like he's going to be getting out of that.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, he'll probably just fall asleep on the
Yeah.
seat or whatever.
I think he'll just fall asleep.
Depending on how long Sync's awake, he'll probably hear
Yeah.
humming from the room beside it.
Oh, interesting. Humming.
I guess
Okay.
Arkara is musical and we just didn't know.
You may hear him like I don't know how angry he'd get, but you may hear like glass shattering, like the trophy case that I was talking about earlier. You might hear like some like rummaging around in there.
The next morning rolls around. What are you guys doing? Are you guys doing anything before you jump? Because it sounds like you guys are about to jump.
Breakfast.
Yep.
Yeah, breakfast.
I'm checking the pantry for dextro food.
That cake is still there. No one's touched it.
Oh, and by the way, if anyone's seen Arkara run around the ship, you'll notice that there are a few dents in the doorways because she's been headbutting them. She's apparently a little too big for the ship. And she has a habit of going like, boom, ow!
Sepia's going to take it upon herself to throw the cake away. It's been out for...
Yeah, you probably should throw the cake away.
Oh my goodness.
The kitchen itself... The kitchen itself is not that well stocked. There's like cereal and salt and pepper shakers, and I mean, I don't know if there's necessarily any dextro food because they don't have any dextro passengers before. So unfortunately, there's no dextro food in there. It looks like the pantry could definitely be stocked up better for your trip.
Great. Looks like we're going to starve, Elias.
Hanar's got all the snacks though.
I don't know. Did Anar get any of the dextro snacks?
Is there any?
Jeff, I warned you.
I've got instant noodles.
Jeff, I warned you that this is going to be a very emotional session. I just didn't tell you why.
Yeah.
I warned you it would be. So,
That's what tipped me off.
yeah.
I have a feeling it's going to get worse.
Yeah, I think it's going to take turns, though.
Oh, yeah.
So what's happening? What's happening before you guys jump? Besides eating breakfast or finding something for breakfast?
I don't know about what I'd be doing, honestly. He might go...
Anar never left the cargo hold. He's still there.
Okay, well, I'll probably tell the other two. So, just thought you guys should know we can only jump. Well, we can only use the reality collider once every 24 hours at most.
Let's see.
It needs recharge time.
So
the question
basically,
is-
wherever we go, we're kind of stuck for a while.
A day.
So we either
and-
go to your universe to restock, or we go to your universe and get things squared away. I imagine Anar's got a lot of things he's got to get done.
Well, he seemed a little bit out of it last night, so yeah.
From a practical standpoint, I'd suggest going to my universe to start the upgrades of the ship, but...
And I imagine Sync's going to want to see this this woman, Trissy.
Yes, well, if Arkara and Anar need to square things away first, it might be worth going there first. Although it does sort of require us to get this ship close enough to the theater to actually jump.
Wasn't there more hotspots as well that we could use? If there's anyone that's better suited?
We could fly to Tuchanka or Palaven, but those are the only two I know of at the moment.
Well, Tuchanka's not a good place to be in my universe, that's for sure.
Perhaps I can make a suggestion, Creator Elias.
Internally. Go ahead.
Technically, what one all has to do is we just have to send someone, well, with Mimic, perhaps someone with the seeds with Mimic, to go down to open the gate for us on the surface in the arena. At that point, that person can radio us. That will allow me to use the reality collider to activate and send us through the portal that is opened. Meanwhile, the person who is down below in the arena can simply jump through the portal himself or herself and emerge to the other side. I can then close it up afterwards.
So we don't have to have the ship in proximity to the theater?
We do.
How close is close?
He says probably about 100 yards above, give or take.
Yeah, so we'll still need to we'll possibly need to get flight clearance from, what is it, the docking Citadel? I can't remember what it's called. Flight control?
Most likely, yes. Perhaps our CSEC friend might be able to do that.
I was just about to suggest that.
She seems very persuasive.
Hopefully,
Yeah,
I'm a
that's true.
CSEC officer in your universe as well. Arkara, am I also an officer in your universe as well?
I wouldn't know. I haven't necessarily run into you yet in my universe, so I wouldn't know.
If not, hopefully I can bluff my way around, but hopefully I'll be able to have the authority to be able to pass that off.
Well, did we want to try it? I'm not sure what reception we're going to get if we jump a ship into the Citadel in Arkara's universe.
Might
How would
be a
you-
little tricky.
Should we bring everyone else in here to discuss it as well? And I guess Sink is the captain of the ship.
Yes, it is his ship. But part of me does want to sort of upgrade the shielding before we try that one.
Tough choice. Maybe we should all meet in the conference room to discuss this.
I think it would be nice to have the captain in on it at least, considering he's gonna do the flying.
I'll go try knocking at the door, see if he'll come out.
Okay. Sink, you are awakened by a knock on the door. You believe it's the next morning.
Okay, I'll just press the button to make it slide open. Oh, it's you.
What does Cicepia see in your room, by the way?
Should I roll a search?
Maybe you should just roll like a search to see.
Oh yeah, go Giddy, search.
I don't think there's combat in this session. I was wondering what you meant by that.
Alright, let me just make sure. Yep, it's basically the same as my investigation and persuasion.
Yeah.
Oh. So I say she sees, I guess the broken trophy case with the motherboard chips, and I guess maybe a picture of her somewhere, and so a lot of like a diary, I guess too. You probably see everything.
Got a crazy night in there?
What do you want?
We're going to be discussing on where to jump next. As the captain, I think it would be appropriate for us all to meet in the conference room, especially for you to be attending.
Captain? Look, I'm nobody's captain. We're just here to do a job.
This is your ship, though, correct? And by that simple term, you are the captain of the ship.
Yeah, whatever. I'll just push past Cicepia and.
Oh, you actually tried to push her? And I'm gonna push him back. Listen.
Not as like a shove. It's kind of like an Assassin's Creed, like.
Oh yeah, the little.
Get out of the way.
Assassin's Creed, yeah.
Carla's like, listen. I know you've got your issues. I've been And I know I can understand where you're coming from, but we don't need this attitude. We need to all cooperate and get along, and we've got a mission to do.
You have no idea. And then
Really.
sorry, okay.
A dead loved one, and then finally hearing that they might be alive. I know where you're coming from.
Trust me, C-Sec. You know. And I'll keep walking.
Yeah, keep walking.
I just realized that similarity, that parallelism. I didn't realize that, Eric. Good catch. They do have that in common. Interesting.
Yeah, that's actually what I was saying in the last session. Whenever we were in the thing, I was like, we both have something in common,
Right.
other than
Right.
was it, oh, your honeymoon?
Yeah.
That thing.
Is Drimmy being invited to this, or is he not?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
everyone. It should be everyone. I wonder if Anar still is awake now.
Yeah. How about Anar? Is Anar coming, Jeff?
I don't know. He doesn't know about the meeting.
He hasn't woken up yet?
We'll assume that
He hasn't
something.
left the cargo.
We'll assume that somebody will inform you. I don't know who informs you, if there was something on the PA, the system or whatever.
There will be a meeting attending at
Yeah.
conference room.
Yeah, he'll show up, but he won't be wearing the mech suit because he can't
Right.
wear it, and climb up the ladder.
All right.
And
ahead.
unfolding it in them wherever they do it is just kind of awkward.
Okay, go ahead. Give whoever's talking, whoever's running the meeting.
Well, I
It's
think
definitely not enough right now.
when it comes to it, I think there's a decision that needs to be made.
That means Cicepia's in the front.
Yeah, sure. I'll use my command as an officer. Okay. The one thing we have to decide now is whether we should jump over to Elias's planet or jump over to Arkara's planet.
Universe.
Universe, yes. We've got pros and cons. I think the best thing to do is discuss, what would be best as the group.
Well, I get the feeling that Arkara and Anar may have personal things to deal with in their universe before we get back to mine, I suppose. On the other hand, we could upgrade and get supplies in my universe before heading there, especially because we don't know.
Elias will know that getting those installments on the ships is going to take days, not a day.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
if you are asking them to do that, that means they will be disconnected from. He will be disconnected
Their
from
reality
Trissy,
from a couple
and
of days,
she's going to
yeah.
be disconnected from her reality for days. So
Yeah,
just
it's a
throwing that
timing
out there.
issue.
It's a timing problem.
Yeah. The upgrades won't be fast. I mean, they'll be fast, but not a day fast. It'll take some time. On the other hand, if we jump this ship over to Arkara and Anar's universe, we don't know what reception we're going to get with a ship suddenly appearing over the Citadel.
Yeah. Worst possible scenario is that we're basically going to be gunned down if they see suddenly a ship just reappear. They might just assume that we might be like a Reaper ship or something.
Actually, Hawk, on that note, would I have stolen plans for the stealth drive? Or the stealth technology?
Roll knowledge streetwise.
Oh! You got a green on the last one?
Roll us. Yeah, there we go. That's what you needed. That's what you needed.
Nice.
Then yes.
Good job.
Yes. That's what you needed.
I do have schematics to upgrade the engines for stealth.
Think you'd be able to get him by today and we'll be able to make the jump?
He has to make a roll to determine how fast he can do it.
I don't know if I can do them myself, but because that's a mechanical roll, I'm not actually. I have
Let me see.
schematics.
Let me
No,
see. Drimmy says.
Dree is also specialized in mechanics, right?
Because if she's, I'm more a technician than a mechanic. I'm software, not hardware.
Yeah, and Drimmy's mechanic.
I can program it. I can't, but putting it together is a bit beyond me.
I'm more mechanical too, but I think
Drimmy knows the ship.
Dree knows way better, more than I do.
Possibly with the combined efforts of all three, you might be able to get it done. I'm thinking maybe.
Depends on whether we've got the parts.
Pass me the schematics, Dree says.
I just I'll use the conference facility to bring them actually up in hollow in front of everybody. It looks something like this.
Jimmy goes over, looks at it, and studies it carefully. Ah, yes.
It needs a lot of ESO.
I think I might be able to get that taken care of. Probably not by this afternoon, but definitely before dinner. Just before dinner.
Well, in that case, shall we try?
Yeah,
What?
if we can make the
Seems like a good idea.
Because we're gonna have to integrate it with our software as well. I can probably help with that.
And if we can get by stealthily without having to alert anyone, that'd be the best.
Well, they can still look out a window and see us.
We won't
Jimmy's
not a
immediately get
cloaking
shot at
device.
least.
Drimmy and Sync and Elias will spend time installing the stealth drive onto the ship. And between the three of them, they are able to complete the process before dinner time. In the interest of time, I am going to assume that Cicepia is able, especially with her persuasion, is able to give you guys clearance to be able to use the ship. Maybe you even contacted the council themselves, maybe. But again, I would RP that, but in the interest of time, I'm gonna say it's all good and dandy. You will go over to the arena. Fortunately, there is no show taking place that day because it's during a weekday. This is like a Monday or a Tuesday because I think Elias' show was on a Saturday night or Friday night or something. But anyway, it's on a weekday, so there's no shows going on that moment. And who is going to be on the surface with the seeds? Because Mimic's still with the seeds. Who's going to be on the surface opening the gate for the ship?
Would be me because I'm not gonna let go of the seeds.
Okay.
But the
Arkara.
problem is you can't see Mimic, so either I would need to come with you because I've got the short range program so you can visualize him, or Sync would need to be there. And I think we need Sync to fly the ship.
So I guess Elias then.
Yeah, because how's your piloting, Dylan?
I have a 3D at +2.
Yeah, because I've got 2D +3, so yeah, I think
okay.
it should not be me.
I'm assuming Pi, the drone, can remain on Sync's ship without you there in proximity, or is that not true?
I think the drone has a range.
Okay.
So unless you rule that it has a potential independent existence as a drone like Glyph,
Okay.
or if I just spawn random combat drones with copies of software.
I'll say that Pi will be able to remotely activate the device then to allow the ship through.
Okay.
So in the interest of time, I will just go ahead and say you guys got your clearance. Arkara and Elias are down on the surface. The other rest are on the ship. You guys will be able to use Mimic to open the gate, and then the Reality Collider will be activated by Pi. A big flash of red light appears before your hands. Again, everyone feels nauseous. Think how, if you ever read the Harry Potter books, it's probably similar to the sensation you have when you're using a port key.
Yeah.
Like from your navel. It's not very comfortable. It's not the most comfortable thing, but you're starting to get used to it. This is like the third time maybe that you've jumped. And Elias and Arkara jump in as well through the portal. Pi closes the gate behind you, and the ship is in stealth above the Citadel. It doesn't seem like any of the Air Force in the Red Galaxy has noticed that your ship is there.
Okay.
So what does the red universe look like?
In the Red universe, Elias and Arkara, there appears to be red tape around here, but it doesn't look like the way that there was red tape in the green universe with the husks. The red tape is a little bit more focused in one side of the arena near the back, where there is the outline of a female. There's an outline of a female
Turian.
on the ground. Suspiciously in the same spot where Arkara had fired her sniper rifle at. But there does not seem to be any police there currently.
Excellent.
I've noticed
Are
that.
you actually saying
No,
that
you're
out
not there.
loud?
No.
You're on the ship. This is Elias and Arkara. This is Elias and Arkara.
She's more like trying not to look in that direction. Very
Arkara's
quick,
like,
not
that's
look at it.
interesting. I have no idea why that's there. Also, Arkara, as soon as you arrive in this universe, you start getting your whatever you use as a communication device, phone, whatever. It starts to either beep or vibrate as if you had a text message. As if you had a text message.
It's ready!
Oh no!
It vibrates multiple times, so you feel like you've gotten several messages. Many
Hey
messages.
girl, where are you? Oh my god, it's been like days!
Right, shall we try to get out of here and see where the rest of the people are and what we need to do?
Probably a good idea. Let's go out the side exit.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Something clearly happened here.
Is Arkara not checking her messages yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
She's waiting till she'll
So
be
you-
outside and away from Elias.
You make your way out. It looks like the whole arena is closed. There doesn't seem to be anyone there. Fortunately, you are able to find a door that is open from the inside but locks itself on the outside because everything else looks chained up.
Yeah.
You can probably gather because of whatever investigation is going on.
I could
this
probably
building.
hack through it, but I'd rather not.
Yeah.
I'll try going out the stage door exit if
You
I have to.
you guys can emerge. Sync, you will be able to see from the ship. You will be able to notice, at least from the ship, that Elias and Arkara successfully came out of the arena, emerged from the arena.
Hark, would I be at all suspicious about the fact that Arkara is from the Red Universe, happened to show up with a sniper rifle on the gantries? And,
You can roll a
there's
knowledge.
against,
Roll me a
right?
knowledge. Let me see if you can start pointing, like connecting dots.
Could that also be perception?
Oh,
Either perception or not?
12.
Well,
Not. It's a little bit of a stretch. I'd say a little bit of a stretch to put two and two
Okay.
together. Okay. So what do you guys do now that you're officially in the Red Universe?
I'd probably go to CSEC to see what kind of resources I can get.
Oh, so you're going to CSEC? Okay.
Yep.
I'm gonna go shopping.
You're gonna go
I
shopping.
need food.
I'll go to my apartment to
a
check my
day or so of
messages.
food.
You go to your
And then
apartment
I'm
and
gonna
check
head
your
back to the
messages.
Anar is gonna find the Asari.
The Asari?
Yep, I forgot his name.
Oh, Drimmy? Okay.
Okay.
Let me do Arkara first. So Arkara,
That's fine.
You go over to your apartment and you check your messages, and let's see. The first message was from the night of the concert and says, "Girl, where'd you go?" The second message was 30 minutes later and says, "Are you in the bathroom or something? Are you okay?" The third one says, "Okay, you're really scaring me right now. If you don't text me back soon," he says, "I'm gonna start calling the police." And then the next one is the next morning and says, "Arkara, like, I've been trying to call you, please, and I was like, please let me know when you get this message. Otherwise, I'm seriously going to be calling the police right now. I'm freaking out." And then there's another message. This one, not from Meridi. This one says, "Arkara, darling, congrats. Come see me as soon as you can." You probably know who that is.
Yeah.
Arkara, darling, congrats.
Nice.
I like to make a note. She should get a renegade point.
I think she should get a renegade point as well, actually, for all of that. Yeah, I'll give you. Go ahead. I'll give you a renegade point for that.
Make it
Arkara.
mark.
Things
I
might
did
get
take my
tricky though
shot.
if I'm running around in this universe.
Oh yeah.
Well, you don't know that yet.
Great.
But of course, yeah, I don't. But things might get tricky too.
So Arkara, what do you do at this point?
First I'll call up Meridi, see if I can get a hold of her.
As you answer, you dial the phone, and after the second ring, it picks up, and she says, "Girl, where the F have you been? I've been worried sick for the last 2 days. I thought I was gonna find you in at the bottom of a ditch or something. I've been trying to get the whole police force looking for you."
Oh, take care, Meridi. You didn't have to do that. You know I can take care of myself. I just had some business to attend to, and I had to drop out for a little bit.
When you didn't answer any of my calls the next morning, what do you expect me to think?
I'm sorry, Meridi. I didn't mean to do that. But as I said, I had to duck up for a little bit. I couldn't get in contact, so to speak.
Well, you can't just disappear for 2 days and explain it like that. What happened to you? Where did you go?
That's a bit of a story, actually. I'm not sure if I can talk about it like this.
All right, I'll come right over then. Are you hungry? Are you hungry? She says. I was about to go get something. I was about to pick up something for dinner anyway.
Well, sure. I can't turn down a dinner,
Okay.
especially not from you.
I'll make sure. I'll go over to one of the Chinese restaurants over there. You said you like spicy food, right? I know you like
That's
spicy.
right.
All right, I'll try to find you something. I'll be right there, girl.
Okay, I'll see you.
When you get to Cicepia, while you are making your way to the precinct, you end up seeing there's a television. There's people are watching. You see people watching the television screen. You're passing sort of like Times Square-y type of place, and there's a newscast going on about how there's this big investigation going on the murder of an officer during Elias's concert. One Cicepia Altus was shot dead in the concert, and right now the police are investigating, trying to interrogate pretty much everyone who was in the concert hall to see if they saw anything suspicious. I don't know how Cicepia reacts to this.
Well, so that is. Should I do a perception of thing if I get the two and two together about
I think
Arkara?
you'd get it more than I
Or
would.
do you think I got it? Or do you think
I think you can roll a knowledge, but it's going to be really high. That's going to have a pretty darn high difficulty for you to put 2 and 2 together. Go ahead.
Why not? I'll give it a try.
Can I diplomatize my mind to remember to put 2 and 2 together? No.
No.
Oh no, you're not able to put 2 and 2 together. But you're at least smart enough to know that if you were to walk into the police precinct right now, people are going to be asking you questions.
Oh, dude. That's insane.
Questions I wouldn't be able to give answers to.
Right.
Though I wonder if I get there, I'll probably be able to see the body, get some information on that.
Imposter.
Why not? Let's go diving head in there.
You're going in.
You're going
Yeah,
where?
why not?
Well,
Dude.
it's
Where are you
gonna be
going?
fun.
Yeah, let's go straight to the C-section.
You're going to CSEC? Okay.
Imagine kicking the doors down.
I'm back, bitches!
Your radio, by the way, as you're going to CSEC, your radio gives an announcement. It's not directly to you personally, but everyone in the force, get these announcements, and says, calling all our officers, we wish to inform you that the missing Krogan has been found. I repeat, the missing Krogan has been found. All search parties can stop immediately. Thank you very much for your help.
Missing Krogan. Okay, yeah, that I think I could probably get the connection.
Yeah, you can probably get the connection.
Well, she had a target to take out, and there's
Meanwhile,
one dead person.
let's Anar, you are looking for Drimmy, who is on the ship still.
Yes.
Where is this happening? In your cargo
Well,
hold?
where is he?
He's
Well,
in the conference room.
He was in the conference room, but he can be wherever it is you need him to be. If you need him to be in the cargo room, he can be.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
You'll find Drimmy again going through the junk, and I guess he's tidying up the place because I think he overheard from somewhere that you were trying to put in guns in this room, so I think he's trying to make room.
Anar will be in the mech suit. He'll be just sprucing everything up inside, getting ready to go. Of course, while he's going through his stuff, he realizes that he completely forgot to repair his mech from the last attack, so it's still got the blaster shots from the Reapers.
Okay.
He just nudges us off and thinks he'll just deal with it later. He goes to, you said Drinny?
Drimmy. Or Dree.
Okay.
Drimmy or Dree, however you want to pronounce it.
I'll go with Dree.
Dree,
Not.
go ahead.
He's like, Dree.
Yes, Anar, I think is, if I remember correctly. How are you
Does this
feeling?
cargo hold have an open? Doesn't matter. Does this cargo hold have an opening or a ramp?
Yes, it does.
Great. Make sure you get it open. Some men are going to appear pretty soon with some crates. They're going to be stopping up the ship.
Oh, okay. All right.
Expect a lot of them. Make sure there's plenty of room.
Sure. Certainly.
Good. Now, how do you open this?
He will go over to a panel and there's the hatch can open if you wanted to.
Good. This one will be back whenever. The men might appear before me.
It's at this point, Anar, that your text messages start flaring up as well.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
He's going to. Well, actually, no. He should look at them just in case. He'll briefly go through them.
Chrissy.
Just to clarify, the officers are telling Cicepia, just to clarify, the missing Hanar has yet to be found. The missing Hanar has yet to be found.
Oh,
man. This universe sounds like nothing but trouble.
We should have gone green first.
You gotta go see her. Rip that band-aid off. Just rip the band-aid off. Gotta go see her.
So, messages.
Yeah, the messages are very similar to Arkara. They pretty much are all from Trissy. She actually left you a couple of voice messages, and she sounded very worried, and also basically said the same thing, that if she doesn't hear from you the next morning, that she's going to inform the police, so to please call her back as soon as possible, so she's not like worried about you.
Unfortunately, Anar knows that she's going to have to wait for a moment.
Okay.
He immediately brings up his communicator on his comm while going in full sprint to his apartment.
Okay.
And he's trying to contact Cyrus.
When you go into your apartment, the door opens.
No. The talk will be on the way.
Oh, this is
I actually
on the way.
want to roleplay that part.
Go ahead. You contact Cyrus.
Right. Cyrus, you there?
Oh, what can I do for you, loser?
Shut up, there's no time. You need to get as much of your men as you can to my apartment, or this one's apartment. You need to get all the empty weapon caches out from the back rooms. You know where they are. Make sure you open up all weapon hatches, including the ones that are stored in the wine cellar. The code is 3457723-AB Zeta. Now, you need to get them loaded up quickly. This one will be there just a moment to meet you there. You know how to get through the door. Don't argue, just do it!
Did you hang up right after that?
Yes, he hung up.
You hang up, and then there's a text message that comes up immediately after that. And the text message reads, "I have no idea what you just said."
What?
He reiterates in text in jumbled words, so there are some letters that are in the wrong places.
So you're texting.
Dump the code right.
Hope the password's right.
Because the password's going to be wrong, and he's going to be sitting there going...
After you text, After you text that message, you get a call back. You answer the call from Cyrus.
Okay. This one already gave you the instructions twice. What else do you need to know?
You realize, he says, that I'm in the middle of something very important right now.
Well, end it now before this one comes over and drags your ass over there. This is serious. Now get going.
Serious? Now this is something that I need to put into the books. You've never been serious before.
He actually stops the mech. Says, Cyrus, get your men, get yourself, get over to the apartment now.
All right, but you've got some explaining to do. He hangs up.
Good. And he goes over to the apartment.
You go over to the apartment, and when you are reaching the apartment, you smell something in the air. It smells like cookies?